Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Final Whistle. This is probably our final episode for the season. There's a lot of Champions League going on, so the Champions League we're going to preview real quick. We're going to preview the Europa League, and I got my guys here. As you can see, everybody's here. We got Ibn, we got Daniel, then we got Yaga, and we just finished watching the Manchester United game, and United lost to Sevilla, but we'll get to that later. Let's start from, I guess, the beginning of the week when the PSG and Atalanta game was what happened first. And as the game went on, did anybody think that this PSG could actually win this game? Or did you think, because the last 2 minutes of the game was probably the craziest 2-3 minutes. Because it seemed like one of those games where PSG would have 20 shots, and then they would come up with no goals. But then in the 90th minute, Marquinhos was able to get the equalizer, and then 93rd minute or whatever, Choupo-Moting comes up with the goal. How did you guys see the game? This was probably one of the best games, or probably the craziest games we've seen since restart happened.
Yeah, the game actually started off as an intensive game, whereby you had Neymar missing basically a hat trick within the first half. So the guy had a lot of chances to score goals, and he wasn't really getting capitalized on the opportunity to score. So at that point, I was like, well, if you're not converting your chances right now, it's likely that you're going to lose the game. And then Atlanta scores, and I was like, yeah, there we go. The game's probably over. Atalanta, they scored. Yeah, and then once they scored, I still felt like PSG was in the game because there were some chances that Atalanta wasn't really converting. And second half began, the show was still on. And this is football, as you said, it's final whistle. Until the final whistle's up, you don't count yourself out. So PSG, actually before the game, I was telling you that, hey, they're going to the final with Bayern. But when we were watching the game, I felt a little different until the final whistle. So I still feel like PSG is in a good place right now. Let's see what happens in the next round, and then see if they can make it to the final. What do you guys think?
So, I guess, Daniel, I'll let you go, but the game Neymar had, right, how would you rate it? Because he probably had, outside of the goals, one of his best games. He was all over the place. He was beating players, he was creating players. It seemed like he was the only person in the PSG team that could make something happen until Mbappe came on.
Correct. Exactly. It's how bad you want it, right? I mean, he went there because he wants to win the Champions League. So how bad do you want it? You've been there a couple of seasons where you guys get eliminated a couple of times. So now there's a time basically to prove to the world, hey, I'm one of the best players in the world. I'm here because I came here mainly for my Champions League. I left Messi and the rest because I want to build a team on my own. So I need to prove to the world that, hey, I can do this on my own. So to rate him for that game, I think this is probably one of his best games that he's played ever since the whole World Cup with the whole rolling and stuff off the field and post injuries and stuff. I feel like this is one of the best games that he's played so far. I cannot really give him a number out of the game because I feel like he had to perform. He had no other choice but to perform and prove himself to the world. But if he can carry on that performance into the next few games and potentially go into the final, then maybe I can just rate his Champions League season and be like, okay, based on whatever criteria he did, he's rated at this scale or whatever number I'm going to place on him. But for the game alone, I just feel like it's unfair to just rate him because I expected that off of him. Again, missing the hat trick within 15 minutes spent in the first half, that's not him. So for him to redeem himself in the second half, that's acceptable.
But Daniel, isn't that if a guy is worth 222 million euros or whatever, he's got to score one of those chances? Or is it one of those where it's just because when I was watching the game, I'm like, this guy's doing everything. But if they had lost the game, everybody was going to blame Neymar, right? So for a guy that's worth $222 million, at least he has to score one of those chances. If he cannot score every chance, one of them he has to bury. Am I wrong?
You're right about that. I mean, he's the most expensive player in the world, right? Yeah. And he sees himself on the level of Messi and Ronaldo, right? Mm-hmm. So if you consider yourself to be on that level, I think Frank Leboeuf on ESPN made an argument, and this was what he was saying pretty much. If let's say you have a defender, right, who's having the greatest game of his life, right? and then he makes a silly mistake to see the goal. I mean, I think all the good things he did in the first half would be neglected, and then people will focus on the mistake he made, right?
Yeah.
So if you're talking about Neymar, your main purpose in that PSG team is to make a difference. He was playing great, amazing. Take-ons, dribbling, everything was great because I think he had everything 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
And then the finishing was very poor. So
that's the most important part.
Exactly. That's the most important part because that's the X factor in the team. Neymar is the X factor of PSG. So if you can't make that difference, then I would have to question because PSG didn't bring you in to come and dribble. It didn't bring you in to come, do all that. They brought you in to, finish the game for us. So if he wasn't doing that, I mean, I think he had a great game, but he should have finished one of those. Definitely one of those. But pretty much he set up the second goal pretty much. He squared it for Mbappe and then Mbappe squared it for Choupo-Moting. So he still made a difference, but I think he should have been much more clinical.
Daniel, it's nice to have Mbappe to come off the bench and change the game, don't you think?
Exactly, because talk of you being clinical. I mean, I think he was actually lacking support from the front because when he actually makes all the dribble and gets into the final ball or the final finishing, he's not able to get that support from his actually striker. But when Mbappe came, he actually got like support up front. Apart from he actually doing everything on his own, Mbappe was able to provide support. Do you get it? Apart from he also providing assist, he was able to provide support for Neymar because Neymar was actually looking at the game. It's like Neymar was carrying the team on his shoulder. He was trying to do everything on his own.
But I also felt he was trying to do too much. Is that too harsh?
I think he did too much.
But that's his style of play, though. That's how he plays his game. So I cannot really judge him and say he did too much.
Well, I got to be honest. Icardi gave him nothing.
Nothing, exactly.
Nothing. Nothing. Let's say that you are on your team, okay, and you guys really want to win a game, and you are not really getting any support up front. What will you do? You do everything you can to make something happen. And I think that was what was actually wrong with him. I mean, what he was actually having in his mind that, we have to win this game at all costs. So he was trying everything that he could to make everything possible. And I think it wasn't working. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. Because when you're actually playing this kind of games, you can't actually carry the team on your shoulders. It's a teamwork. But I think when Mbappe came on, the load was actually shared. And I think he actually also had a little bit of freedom to also move around and also do, some stuff to even make the goal come to.
Yeah, because I think when Mbappe came on, the whole game, I was telling you guys, when Mbappe came on, I was like, PSG is going to win this. But I actually went on way longer than I thought it did. But like that's the value of having a player like that come on. So let me get final thoughts on you guys. So Ibn, do you think are PSG, because PSG are going to play
RB Leipzig
next game, which we'll review the next game. Are they set for the final, or is it one of those things where if they go down 1-0 against Leipzig, there's no coming back?
All right. So based on the performance that they had against Atalanta, I think that if they start off the game again in a similar way against RB Leipzig, it's likely that they might miss the opportunity to go to a final. Reason being is that RB Leipzig is pretty much compact, and they will stretch you out once they score their goal. If you watch their game against Atletico, all they did was basically like just hold off a little bit, get the ball, counter, and then score. Or once they score, they just sit back. So I don't see that as an opportunity for them if they just like miss out their chances, and maybe the miracle that happened against Atalanta would happen again. I don't see that happening. If they don't score, that's it. RB Leipzig would go to the final. So they need to capitalize from the fresh start to make sure they make their chance to the final. So
who's your pick?
So between I told you what my final prediction is for this year's final. I told you it's going to be PSG versus Bayern. But looking at the way PSG played against Atalanta, if they're going to perform the same way in the first half in particular, they might miss their chance to make it to the final.
Yaga, who do you have for PSG? And I mean, it looks like straightforward. Like this looks like a PSG win written all over it. But we also thought the same about Atletico, and it didn't happen. What do you think?
Because Leipzig is a great team. Actually, they are well organized. They have a great coach. I think PSG will take this one because, mind you, Di Maria is about to start, and I'm thinking Mbappe might start as well. If you have this potent strikers like Di Maria, Neymar, and Mbappe, then of course they can make the difference. But if Di Maria is not playing and Mbappe is not playing, I think they might set up the same match as they did with Atlanta. So you never know. But my money will definitely be on PSG. But hey, it's a lot of surprises going on.
Yeah,
you never know. But I'm definitely going for PSG.
Damn.
Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah,
I'll go for PSG as well because I think some of the players will be returning for their next game. So it's a PSG win for me. But anything can happen. But still, PSG for me. I mean, they really want this. And besides, they haven't even made it past. I think the quarterfinal or so. I mean, some number of tries. So they really want this, and I think PSG will go ahead.
Yeah, the one thing, just to wrap this up, the one thing that was worrying for me when I was watching the PSG game is the amount of players that they spend money on, and all of them disappeared in the game except for Neymar. Like the Sarabias and all these players that they spent all this money on to help Neymar and them, they all went missing. So that cannot happen. For them to win something, some of these players that they are making 6 figures a week, they have to step up because it looked like it was just a Neymar team and just a bunch of scrubs. And none of them are scrubs. All these players are internationals, and they all went missing. So they need help. Like Yaga, you were saying, if Di Maria is fit, and I'm sure Mbappe can start the next game, then
no, I think Di Maria is playing for sure. He didn't play because he was suspended.
Okay.
So he's playing for sure.
So it wasn't an injury thing. Mbappe also, the way his cameo that he had looks like he's set. So if they're on in full fledged, I think.
I think Leipzig will be in for a fight.
So let's transition off to to the next game, which is
RB Leipzig and Atletico.
Let's preview the
RB Leipzig and Atletico.
The Atletico game real quick because we kind of talked about it and Leipzig shocked everybody. Real quick, what happened to Atletico Madrid? I'll let you go first because you are the biggest Atletico Madrid fan that I know. You're the biggest Simeone fan that I know. What did you think about Atletico's performance, and why is it so? Let me set it up for you. Atletico's playing a team that they're inferior. I mean, they were supposed to win this game, right? Leipzig are a good team, but if Atletico goes into this game playing like Leipzig was Bayern Munich, that's the biggest problem because they set up this team like they did Liverpool. They set up to defend and play on a counterattack. The fact that Atletico has a 200 million, how much was Felix cost them?
100 140 million pounds.
140 million pounds. We're getting close to like $200 million. A fact that you have him sitting on the bench in a game where it seems like it's a game that he's gonna, flourish in, and he's on the bench. Morata, I don't understand how he can play 5 midfielders and have a Morata and a Felix on the bench. It did not make any sense to me. Watching this game, they were just trying to defend and just hit the counterattack like Leipzig was Bayern Munich or something. This is a Leipzig team without Timo Werner, which was their best player. What happened to them?
I think after the game, the coach, what's his name, Nagelsmann or whatever his name is.
Yeah, Nagelsmann.
He said they really didn't even need
Werner for this game.
Werner because of how compact Atletico is, right? Now, Simeone, you're going into the game playing Leipzig, fine, okay, but why would you center the game around Diego Costa? And then their defender, what's his name, Upi, whatever his name is, he had Diego Costa in his pocket. So now Simeone's plan was to play around Diego Costa. So that's why he didn't play, Felix, and he didn't play Morata as well, right? So if you're trying to play one top and then that one player is being kicked out of the game, then your game plan is messed up. So I think that's where he had it wrong. And, it was too late for him to bring on those other 2 players. Leipzig got their goal, and that was it. It was game over. But as you said, I don't understand why he would make that decision to go in a game like that playing one top. I don't know why. We all know Diego Simeone is defensive, but come on, you're playing Leipzig, and no disrespect to Leipzig, he should have played. If I was him, I would have played Morata, Felix, and Diego Costa. That's what he should have done. But
if you're playing Bayern Munich, then I would understand. Like I would be like, okay, you know what? You're playing on the counter. It works so well against Liverpool, but not against Leipzig.
Yeah, he could have played 4-3-3, but hey, I don't know why.
But I think he also processed the game but he was thinking, well, RB Leipzig is going to be attack because you know how German football is. They just keep attacking and they don't stop. So he was under the impression that that's what's going to happen. So, hey, you can't really blame him for that. It's based on what he's witnessed a couple of times as a coach, and his game plan was like, okay, I'm going to try to stop them and then hold on to them until probably extra time and then kill the game off with my two powerful additional strikers that I do have. I feel like that's what he was trying to do. But again, there's only one leg. It's not even a leg. It's only one match to determine your leg.
But the whole game, they were outplayed, man. They didn't play anything.
Yeah.
So bad. I don't know what kind of tactic he was looking through to figure out, but he got it wrong and he should have changed it at halftime when he was down. That's when he brought in Felix, right? And then they got.
He made a difference. He made a difference.
Yeah, but the whole thing was just bizarre. I didn't think he was going to go that. I mean, I know he was a defensive coach, but Daniel, I didn't think he was going to go that defensive against.
That has always been Simeone's. Tactics. If he's actually setting up his team, it's always about the defensive approach. Do you get it? And even stated that knowing the opponent to also played a role in how he was also going to set up. So he knew that it's a German team and probably they are going to attack. So basically he's actually going to go in the same way that he usually goes, defend and probably hit them on the break or something. So that's why he actually went for that approach to his game. And he has always actually done that. 9 out of 10, Simeone will probably go for a defensive approach more than an attacking approach.
Yeah, but for a team that is supposed to be much better than them, that's kind of
on paper.
What management?
On paper, exactly.
It is on
Leipzig
paper.
Is a good team.
Yeah, because Leipzig you cannot.
Oh my God! Here we go with this Leipzig is the big club thing.
No, it's not about a big club.
Guys, wait.
Dude, let's talk about performance this season.
Okay, listen. This is a Leipzig team that does not have a Timo Werner. On paper, there's a lot of teams that are better than this team, but you do not go defensive again.
Exactly. I agree with you.
On paper, yeah, football is played on the pitch, but you cannot go a team that is undermanned against and then decide to put your 140 million pound wonder kid on the bench.
You don't do that.
And then play 5 defensive midfielders or whatever hell you're playing just to hold it. That's just poor. That's just poor.
Jeff,
let me tell you, if Ole had done that against Leipzig, or if anybody, we would have killed them. I think Simeone gets a pass because of how he is, but this was a poor decision.
Very, very poor decision, and that's what I'm saying. Eben, I should said on paper, but then there's no way I was going for Leipzig. I wasn't. But then the moment you see the strategy, the technique, whatever he was trying to do, I have no idea what he was trying to do.
1,000%, I would have excused it. I would have excused it if maybe he was like, Timo Werner is quick, so we gotta make sure we don't get too stretched out, right? So you kind of hold the line and play compact so that Timo doesn't hurt you, because you feel like without Werner, if you do not have a Timo Werner in the team, you can dominate position. But if he's on the team, you kind of have to be more cautious. The fact that the guy is not in there, the guy that scored 30-something goals for them, and you still went defensive, that boggles my mind. And
that's a bad decision from him. And at least if you didn't want to play all your 3 strikers, you could have played 4-4-2. How about that?
He actually does that frequently, and I don't know why he didn't do that.
But I'm even surprised that you guys actually were surprised that Simeone played a defensive approach against Leipzig.
We are not surprised. But the point we are making is you're playing Leipzig. there's no way you should be playing one top. There's no way. That's all we're saying. You could have still, he could have still played defensive with a 4-4-2. He could have still done that. But you decided to go with one top, Diego Costa, and he was taken out of the game from the first minute. He was out of the game. Right. That defender had him in his pocket, and it was over for the team. You know. Yeah. And I think it's a poor decision, and that's the truth. It's a poor decision.
It is a poor decision.
It is very poor. So I mean, Leipzig. I mean, kudos to them. They're very. I mean, this Champions League keeps surprising me. And this, if there was one team that I would have bet that there's no way they're making the next round, especially when they did not have Werner. Even Werner himself didn't think they could win this game. So that's.
I wonder how it feels now. I wonder how it feels now.
I tell you what. So I mean,
and you know what? All jokes aside, I would want them to win.
They're not gonna win.
They're not.
I think the only way he would feel any way about it if Leipzig actually went on to win. If they go to the semifinal and they lose, I don't think he would.
But maybe he might never get the chance to play in the semifinal with Chelsea.
Oh,
look at you.
You see this?